It's me. I'm back. And it's your girl Icy, aka Ashante, whatever you want to call me. I actually came today with a topic. I had an incident yesterday. This is for all mothers, fathers, parents, whatever. And for kids, you guys can listen to this too because, sometimes we forget as parents some of the things, that we're supposed to do um, to make sure that you guys are good. For instance, last night I was in a really irritated mood. I didn't get much sleep. I didn't eat much yesterday. I was just really not feeling well. And, we're all human. We all have our days where we're just not in a good mood and we're kind of irritated. And when you have a child, especially if you're a single parent, and you don't really have anybody to throw your child off on in that moment, it can get kind of hard for you to deal with them without being harsh. Last night, for instance, Jada, every hour yesterday she was asking me for something to eat. She was just being greedy, okay, because we were home all day, we weren't doing much, so I think she was bored. I just made chicken and rice and beans, and she ate it. Maybe half an hour after that, after she ate it, she asked me if she could have hot chocolate. I was in the kitchen cleaning up, so I was like, Jada, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Every minute you're asking me for something. Um, and she left. She just left the kitchen. And for me, anytime that I scold Jada or I have like an issue where I have to discipline her or anything, I always feel guilty inside. And that's just my own. I don't know if I'm pretty sure I'm not the only mom. Um, but I do, and I always replay everything that happened in my head and think about it. And I analyzed it, and I actually went back to Jada. I ended up making her the hot chocolate. And not saying that everything your child asks for they should get, but I ended up making her the hot chocolate, and I asked her if I could have a conversation with her about what happened. I asked her how she felt when I talked to her that way, when I spoke to her, in that manner. And she told me that she was sad. And I'm pretty sure she was. And it was on my own feelings that I took out on her. She didn't do anything wrong. She's allowed to ask for whatever she wants. Doesn't mean she's going to get it. But I didn't have to respond to her like that. So I told her that I was sorry. And, as parents, we need to remember that just because they're kids, it doesn't mean they don't deserve respect. Just the same way when somebody yells at us or does something wrong to us and we are wrong or they are wrong, we expect an apology or an explanation as to why you were so harsh or rude or whatever it was. So for me, I just wanted to say, all of us need to remember that little kids and, teenagers and people that, are underage, they have a voice too, and they need to be respected as well, because what you give is what you get, right? And for me, I felt proud of myself for doing that because, I've probably scolded her for many things, and maybe was just in my own mood and did it in a way that I wouldn't normally do it. So, and I probably just let that slide. You know what I mean? And it's not right. So you're supposed to, when you acknowledge when you're wrong, especially as a parent. And we don't like being wrong all the time because sometimes it doesn't feel good, but we have to acknowledge when we're wrong to our children so that when they are wrong, they will acknowledge, they're wrong to you as well. And I just think we need to listen and pay attention more to our kids, especially when, when there's something big going on. And everybody always thinks that little kids don't know or they won't understand. You have to sit down with them and see what they know and what they do understand, because a lot of times, these kids are way smarter than we think. So whenever I sit down with Jada, I'm always surprised by something that she's heard me say on my phone or something that she's, seen on TV, and she actually understands it and she knows what that meant. So it's like, we got to be very careful with these kids and the way we're raising them. And, this is the next generation. So we're responsible for that generation. We're responsible for the next set of adults coming up. So we got to make sure that they're better than what we were, and that we're paying attention to them. We're not too caught up in our own adult world that we don't remember that these kids are watching and they're listening to everything we're saying. And, for most children, their mom or their dad is next to God. You know what I mean? Like, that's like the closest thing for them. So, they look at everything you do. And most kids want to be just like you. Like, Jada's always telling me she wants to be just like me. I want to be like my mommy. I want hair like my mommy. I want to look like my mommy. I want to do what my mommy does. So it's like, a lot of that is in my brain, and we forget about it so much, and we just go about our daily day, and we go through the motions, the routine life. um, you got to take that time, sit down with your 6-year-old, sit down with your 4-year-old, sit down with the 12-year-old, the 16-year-old, and see what they know. You know what I mean? Get to know your kid, and really get to know your kid. You know what I mean? You know what they like to eat and all that, but do you know what they know? Do you know what their dreams are? Do you know, like, because a 6-year-old has dreams. Like, they're not just babies. They know exactly what they want, and in their world, because kids have their own world, and everything's possible for them. So it's like you got to really sit down and talk to your kids, man. So that's all I wanted to do, is send that message, and hopefully somebody has a conversation with their kid and learns something new about what their kid knew, and or hopefully that kid will get that apology that they deserved for the way you acted, maybe irrationally, or just out of your own mood for being human. So we all make mistakes. Ain't nobody perfect. So I'm just sending this message because I made a mistake. I made my apology. And from here on out, I learned my lesson. And I hope that somebody else will too. So anyway, this video is kind of boring. So I'm going to let y'all go. And y'all will see more videos soon. Thank you for the support. Oh, do you guys like my nails? I tried white for the first time. Anyways, bye, y'all.